Hello, everyone, and welcome to Meticulous Talks on May 11th, 2024. I am Chris Records.
I'm here, Frog.
Stream looks a little different than usual. I got a new display a little while ago, and working out the bugs a little bit, make it look exactly the same. But that's fine. You can still see all the important stuff, I hope. Certainly, based on the way it looks to me in OBS.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not the big news. The big news is about Set 14. Right, Edward?
What about it?
There's not going to be any Trixies in it, unfortunately.
Oh, so it is the worst set ever.
Maybe so.
Okay, I guess I should not be here.
Well, I mean, there's some compensation. One of your favorite characters is going to be in it.
That is true. Pip is the next best thing.
Yeah.
Probably.
Admittedly, we haven't seen any Pips yet, but one assumes.
And before, no Pips. And then I quit the game for good.
Yes. Talked around the issue, but that was the big announcement, courtesy of them last week, that Set 14's official flavor is going to be Generation 5 content. Unfortunately, I am not very well versed in Gen 5. I saw the movie, and that's it. You have seen some amount of it.
Yeah,
right?
I've seen all of it, and I've read the comics. Basically, most of the content there is to consume. I have consumed it.
Okay.
I think the only thing I did not do is the podcasts thing that they did. Maybe I'll do that at some point.
I was not even aware of this.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to now if I want to be in any way intelligent in how I comment on flavor here. So at some point, I guess before the set comes out, I'll have to engage with G5 stuff.
That Mondays. We planned to watch
Yes.
together, remember?
Well, I mean, I didn't necessarily want to make that public, but yes.
Oh,
Yes.
oops.
Well, yes, Hitrock and I are planning on watching it together. Yes, at some point in the near future.
Yep.
So that wasn't. So there was that. Yes, which I think, for what it's worth, maybe it's worth commenting just slightly on that point. Anyway, I think that's a positive step. It's been talked about before how G4, the wellspring of G4, is kind of run dry. The bottom of the barrel has been scraped as far as art and concepts go.
That's not true. There's the Equestria girls.
There is objection from certain quarters concerning Equestria Girl.
Yeah, it is certainly a hill to die on.
A certain individual. Given how, and you can tell the story yourself, given how Sim cast the shade on you in their stream, I think you're entitled to the same. Anyway, yes, I happen to know Grandpa's was already in the chat to say that. So yeah, there's that. So given that, G5 is a fairly logical place to turn. There's stuff to go with there, lots of art to work on. There's both 3D and 2D. This set's working on the 3D stuff for now, and I believe that's where they're going to go with for now, right?
Yeah. But there is a lot of 2D, so who knows? Maybe in the future.
We'll see. Yeah. So yeah, to that end, yeah, after that's considered, we got 6 cards to look at, as well as a new key. Well, it is technically a keyword, even though it's 2 words. And there was some discussion about what exactly to call the set. We'll get that. We'll get to that at the end of the stream, same way that Tim did it.
Makes sense.
So, I guess let's talk about some cards.
What is the first card?
I'm just going in the order that they were posted in the Discord, which I guess is just as a collection. So, first card was that resource. Masquerade Mask, costs 2, flips for 3, is an accessory that goes on a friend or a troublemaker. Has the new keyword. Oh, then maybe I'll just cover that at the end. So, and then while that friend or troublemaker, the attached friend or troublemaker, has at least 1 counter on it, that friend or troublemaker has +2 power. The keyword being Magic Restored. When this card enters play, put a magic counter on one of your cards. You want to maybe just talk about the keyword first?
Sure. Yeah, you can start.
Sure. So, it is a very versatile keyword, because basically it is, any card with this text on it. When this card enters play, always look for that keyword enters play. Put a magic counter on one of your cards. The counter itself doesn't do anything, but it is a magic counter that goes on on any card that you control. Control, right? Yeah, that is what that means, right? Yeah. And then there are going to be all kinds of other things in the set, like this card, that will key off of counters being on cards to trigger effects. Or, trigger effects when counters are placed on cards, or have effects that can be activated by removing counters from cards. And all of them can therefore be sort of, not triggered, not the right word, activated. Well, yeah. Will require these magic restored cards to put the counters on stuff.
Frightening stuff is suddenly a lot more powerful.
Pretty good, yes. Frightening stuff will take away all the counters on it because they'll become new cards. Otherwise, just removing stuff is the only way to get the counters off, right? Of your opponent's stuff.
I think so, yes. I think so. Well, maybe the set will have something. Another thing that I find interesting about this keyword is that it says cards, so that includes problems.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if there are like any problems that synergize with having counters on them. We don't really have them right now.
Yeah. Well, so there's
magic counters anyway.
Yeah, magic counters. There's a foolish argument as to counters on it, but
yeah, but like you cannot put more specific counters on the problem yet. So you cannot like in core you cannot put specific counters on any card. In Harmony you can kind of do that, but that's it.
Yeah. And so I will say that I really like how this, as I mentioned, it being a really versatile keyword. You can, like, if we just look at this card itself, obviously you can put the counter on the card that you attach this card to immediately get its effect, or you can use the magic restored cards in your deck to fuel specific other cards on the field. Like, so you already had a card on the field, we'll get to some later, that want to have counters on them to activate their abilities. You can use your magic restored cards to transfer over to those cards instead. So you have this versatility when you play the deck in terms of where you actually want to put the counters. It's really, really cool, I think. And it gives the set designers so much room to work with in terms of what they can do with this keyword.
Yeah.
I personally really hope, actually, that this becomes not just a set keyword, but on the assumption that this block is going to be all G5, it becomes like a thing that they come back to over and over for the block.
Yeah, that's my hope as well. Like both for the flavoring, I hope the block is the G5 block. I think it would make a lot of sense for the game, and I hope that's what happens. And I do hope this keyword will be like a block thing, not a set thing, because we don't really have any mechanic that has been like a block thing, right? It's either set or it's always in the game. Like dilemmas, they are ever since they were introduced, they were in every set. Multicolor cards, every set thing.
Mhm.
Harmony, one set. So it's either one set or everything. We never had block mechanics.
Well, Harmony's been in multiple sets. You meant Unity, I think, perhaps.
Mm, sure, harmony, but like, there's so few other harmony cards, right? It's you cannot call it a block thing.
No, no, you couldn't call it that. That's true.
Yeah. But yes, Unity is another example as well. Uh, so yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Uh, Insofar as this specific card goes, um, haven't actually stop and reevaluate that. 2 cost, attached to anything. If you use it immediately on its own ability, then it is effectively plus a +2 power attachment for 2 cost, which is actually not incredible.
No, this would be like if you just use it for that. This is Princess Mask, but worse.
Yeah. Well, the versatility of potentially putting it on a troublemaker is that's a little interesting, right? Most accessories can only go
Sure.
on friends.
Yeah.
Granted,
But even then,
+2 power on a troublemaker is not amazing in the world. Now, we've talked about how there are there are a lot fewer dilemmas in rotated core. So,
oh yeah, maybe we should
yeah, actually,
bring it up a little
we
bit.
kind of forgot about the whole fact that this is going to rotate core. Pretty big deal.
Yeah. So I like that the core is getting rotated. We'll see how fresh things are. We had a stream about it, discussing what would change. I also really like that the entire game would be print and play now as soon as the set is released. Well, the entire game in core. We should make it way more accessible to people, especially given current second market circumstances.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, even before that, a lot of the core sets were pretty hard to get your hands on anyway.
Yes. So yeah, it's a big step. It's the second rotation that has ever happened to this. Well, not did not ev- didn't happen yet, but will happen to this game. Uh, it'll be exciting. We'll see how I like core or not.
I guess strictly speaking, yes, it's only the second rotation. This is the third time that sets have left the sort of most modern format. Technically, like you could call the invention of core a rotation. Technically, if you wanted to.
Prism Light is asking if there is anything in the rules that mandates card sleeves. I'm pretty sure tournament floor resources describe exactly how, like, the criteria for which print and play cards are accepted.
Right. Yeah.
I don't remember if it's mentioned specifically sleeves or not, but I think if they're professionally printed,
Yeah. Like if they're
no, they have to be sleeved as well because no, if your entire block is print and play, entire core is print and play, then as long as they have the same card back, it should be probably fine to play in sleeved.
right. I mean
Uh,
that should be how it works. I would think that if the backs of your cards are indistinguishable from
yeah,
well, the rest of the cards in your deck, then it should
but
be
I'm not
fine.
sure if one can ensure such consistency unless they print everything at once, right? And if you, at any point, if you're playing like adventure, then it becomes impossible because the card backs are different,
Yeah.
and you have to use sleeves at that point.
Yeah. So it is possible the rules might just mandate sleeves as a
Yeah, yeah, it
yeah.
would make a lot of sense. And also, please don't play on sleeve cards.
I suppose by definition they would have to be opaque sleeves then as well. Um, transparent sleeves
Yes,
wouldn't work.
yes.
At least we'll take on the back.
Yes. Yeah, I guess going back to the to what you said earlier, before I answered Prison Light question, I forgot what you said. Oh, you said something about rotation. That's right.
Yes. Yeah, we were talking about that. Oh.
Yeah, but what
Right.
specifically did you say?
I was pointing out the technicality that in theory the creation of the core format could be a
Oh,
rotation
yes.
as well, which would make this the third rotation.
Yes, sort of, yes.
Not really that important of a point in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. I guess going back to the card, Prison Light pointed out that this is kind of like Heart of the Sea, and yeah, I think Heart of the Sea is closer than Princess Mask. Like the only difference is that Heart of the Sea comes back to your hand, and that it has white wreck.
Yes.
This doesn't have white wreck. But at the same time, like, so there's two things here, right? Thing number one is that if you're playing like hats or something and you want this power from counters, then you're probably playing white anyway, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the wreck does not matter that much. But at the same time, this colorless card is an outlet to having like an easy to get magic restored keyword, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like maybe the best usage, right, would be like a white orange hat stack. So your orange cards will have +1 counters on them anyway, so you don't have to care about like this is just a 2 power plus this almost guaranteed to be a +2 power attachment, and you get that magic restored counter to go somewhere else onto a card that has a counter usage ability.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. And like, yeah, that's the way I see this card being used. You attach it. You don't put the counter on the thing you attach it to, probably, unless the thing you attach it to does something else with the counter as well.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe you do that. But like by itself, +2 power is not a lot, and the value proposition here is not great. So I think most of the value proposition is in the magic restored keyword and what you can do with it,
Yeah.
not with the card within itself.
Unfortunately, we don't have a good segue to the next card because the next card is not a card that uses counters.
While we're here, I quick thought. It'll be cool to see a troublemaker that becomes an epic if you have a magic counter on it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that'd be pretty cool.
So like you can confront, and then when you're ready to fight it, you fight it.
Yep. These magic restored cards are all by definition like as I pointed out, the magic restored keyword is an enters play effect, so you could portal any magic restored card, well, friend, and get it at immediate speed.
Yes.
I I I'll point that out actually because I remember looking at this set of 6 cards that were printed, well, posted in the Discord, and seeing there was a lot of enters play stuff on them, and wondering if this is just the BRB spoilers. There's a lot of enters play effects here. That's what I'm saying. That is a good segue to Argyle and Sunny, Flight of Fashion. 3 cost, 4 requirements in blue and pink, 3 power in blue and pink, Earth Pony, Unicorn, Pegasus, Foal, Hasty. When this card enters play, for each of this card's traits, if you have at least one other character that shares that trait, your characters get +1 power until the end of the turn. Potentially up to +4. Core, Puzzle for the chat, in Harmony, how do you get this to trigger 6 times?
Okay, let me read this again. Can't you make it trigger way more than 6 times in Harmony?
How?
Hold on.
Remember, the trait needs to be applied to it before it enters play.
Yeah. You can well, you can get unique and critter, for sure. You could
Okay.
also get something else. Don't remember. Can't we get just? Oh no, that's on the main. Yeah, never
Yeah.
mind.
Very good,
We
Bugle.
cannot get
Yes, thank you. I meant at once.
arbitrary. Oh, we're portaling it 5 times.
Yeah. I meant +6 power in a single invocation.
I see. Yeah, because it doesn't stack with how many traits you have.
All right, Bugle's got it. Fair enough. Renderhoof applied the unique, which also notably gives all your other characters unique, so they'll all get the +1. And then the Premier Philomena that makes critters out of problem, or characters out of problem critters. Yeah.
That's not what I said. Critter and
Yes.
unique. Except I
Yes.
was not thinking of Philomena, I was thinking of B-Suit.
B-suit doesn't work.
Does it not?
How do you get the B-suit onto this card as it's entering play?
Oh, it needs to be as it's entering plane. That's fair.
Yeah. You didn't mention the specific cards. You just said
Yeah. That's fair. Do we not have like a single card that gets traits into itself? Like I know we have the main. That's one of them. Do we have any other card like that?
sorry, like what?
Like a card that assigns traits to itself.
So you're thinking of Starlight.
I'm thinking of Starlight, but on something else, yes. Do we not have a card like that? I don't. Because if we do, then everything is possible.
There are cards that assign epic to themselves.
Ooh. Oh, but that's on Troublemakers.
Yeah.
That's harder.
There are cards that take away traits, and Thorax removing unique. Not.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah. Anyway, sidebar for that. This, as was pointed out in the sim stream, is granted this is adventure, but Luna bait, Hot Wings bait for sure, in blue and pink. I'll admit, in core, I actually in core, those 4 requirements, those are what stick with me. Because remember, in core, we're losing Angel Wings and Spitfire, your big blue-pink stalwarts. So I got a feeling that a blue-pink aggro deck is going to have a little bit of a harder time holding on to 4 rec in both blue and pink. In core. Is my thought.
Yeah.
Also losing Fleshy Dash. Yes, people pointing that out. Yeah. Like, clearly, it is an amazing card if you can play it. But I do think those requirements are pretty high for most aggro decks.
In core, yes.
In core. Any other thoughts?
No. I mean, in adventure, it could be pretty good.
In adventure, it's gonna be really, really good. Yes.
It's a hasty card. Gives a bunch of power to all of the characters. If you run Luna, it doesn't trigger every time because she's an alicorn. But most of your friends are gonna be one of those traits.
You're gonna have Pegasi.
Most likely, yes.
Yeah. It was mentioned on the sim stream that you're gonna have the Pipsqueak Eager probably for your foal. What else is there? Unicorns in blue and pink.
Generally not. Like, I mean, a chance is you will have a Pegasus, most likely.
Yeah. Could run Flim and Flam for entry, I guess, get your unicorns.
Luna doesn't do that.
Anyway, but yeah, Prism Light also with a good point. If you have another one of these in play already, it's just automatic.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, really, really good card. Better segue on the magic restored thing I mentioned earlier. Jade, our white dragon, 3 cost, 3 power, 1 requirement, magic restored, and while this card has at least 1 magic counter on it, it has Showy 2. So, another one that could be just a 3 cost, 1 requirement, 3 power friend with Showy 2, or a 3 cost vanilla 3 power friend that powers up another magic restored card, and in principle can get its magic counter later to get its Showy 2 as well.
Yeah, I'm not that excited about Showy 2, I'll be honest.
Did we have, like, we've had Showy 2 cards before?
Yes. A lot of them.
I don't know if we've had a lot of Showy 2s. We've had a lot of Showy 1s.
That's plenty of them. Princess Platinum.
Yeah. He was like okay in draft, right? Limited.
DJ Pawn and Nectaria. Let me see what else I can think of.
Like, I'm thinking Chrysalis is the Showy 3 card, right? Or am I just remembering a card that doesn't exist? There was a Showy 3 card, right?
Yes. Yes.
And
There's 2 Showy 3 cards. Well, one is Showy 3 asterisk.
Sure. And I remember that being like borderline playable. Borderline. Like, there is a value of Showy where it starts to get kind of interesting. I guess by definition that means that 2 is not that number. As a entry card, and I guess we'll see what kind of entry there is, what kind of dragon synergy there is, whatever. I think that's
Dragon synergy? Do you think there's gonna be harmony stuff in here?
don't we actually,
With Friends Forever gone, that's like...
Didn't Sim say there's going to be harmony stuff in this set?
Oh, did they? Maybe I missed
it. I don't know. I thought, I just watched their stream this morning. I thought there was some, they said there was going to be, like, they said there's going to be traits matter stuff to some extent.
Sure. Well, we already saw a card where traits matter, but like...
Sure, right.
Yeah, I think that's what they meant. They meant a card like Argyle, where it's like, okay, sure. It's about like unity, right?
Sure. And for what it's worth, I should have pointed out, it is cool to go with kind of multi-trait rather than single trait. I think that is something the game was kind of missing, was a focus on multi-trait decks. It is good in flavor for the set, yes. For the
yeah.
Thing. Yeah, anyway, all that talking, I think, argued me down to this card probably isn't very good.
I mean, it depends. It's a good slot if you have other magic. Like, it depends on what other magic restored, magic counter synergies are there, right?
Right.
And there's a card that's just a 1 rec, 3 cost, simple thing that gives you... It could be really good. But by itself, it's not.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, if a white main really wants magic counters, this is a good fit for it. Right. Because it is an easy card that can slot into a white deck. Yeah.
Beagle says it's a limited filler card. That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. It is common. Okay. Next up, Onyx, Slam Poet. 2 cost. 2 purple requirement, 2 purple power, unicorn friend. It says when this card enters play, your main character has Studious till the end of the turn. Then start a face-off involving your main character and an opponent's main character. So, I'll admit, I saw this card, and that last card. 2 friends, both named after precious stones. And I thought, cycle. Even though that there is nothing else about those two cards that makes it look like a cycle.
Yeah.
Very likely not the case.
No. But hey, would you like to start face-offs that do nothing?
I would like to start face-offs that do plenty of things, actually.
But this one does nothing. You just start a face-off.
Well, so it does nothing if you lose. Gains you an AT if you win. Sure.
So it is Magic Duel.
I guess. Yes. If you start more face-offs, you get more AT. Well, start and win more face-offs with your main character involved. Here's what I'm thinking. And unfortunately, I looked at the chaotic cards that are going to be in 4 after rotation. There's not that much, unfortunately. Hopefully there's some in this set. What I'm thinking is, maybe you can guess it because this is a purple unicorn. Chaos aggro.
Mm.
I don't know if it works, but if we're playing this, because if this is a 1-cost 2-power unicorn, that's already okay. AT requirement for an aggro deck. Not great, but it's okay. If we start another face-off, make this 2-power, or make this free for 2-power, which we're getting that face-off off of, doing a double confront or something. Or potentially by farming a troublemaker, because I think if you're doing chaos aggro, you're putting in a little bit of farm too, because you want more face-offs, more chaos effect.
You would farm a troublemaker before you could play this card generally.
Well, it is an enters play effect.
Unless you use that, well, yeah, you could portal stuff, which is a little harder in Quora, actually, new core, but not that much harder. There's surprisingly a lot of, there are some stuff. But anyway, and I guess you could use that pink card that lets you rearrange the phases.
Well, maybe. So, admittedly, I was thinking this would be an orange-purple deck, probably. Just because orange, well, we've already been over this. Orange has the best main. So you're gonna be running Grogar main, I think, probably. And you get the good events and such as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some okay chaotic cards in orange as well. So
GP says there's plenty of new chaotic cards.
Okay, good. Support. I'm gonna mark this down as something to actually explore. Then.
But unless you do chaos shenanigans, this card doesn't seem very good.
Probably not.
It's a cool that we have another starter face-off card. I mean, we had Flurry Heart, which was also that, but Flurry Heart was even a little better, right? Because you could keep doing that. Here you only get it as a one-time effect. I think if you're putting this card into a deck, you put it for a very specific purpose. It's not that you just something, okay, I guess I can put this in. It just doesn't make sense, right? This is kind of, I don't want to say build around card, but it's kind of there, right?
I mean, yeah. It is fairly uninspiring on its own, I suppose.
Well, that's not what I mean. It's what I mean, I mean that it's not you don't just play this card. Because by itself doesn't do enough, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like Beagle mentioned, it's a one-sided magic duel that costs AT. Well, it is also a friend, but
yeah. There are sparks in the back of my brain that are like wondering if this is going to be a combo thing at some point.
Yeah, so it could be that, right? So that's like maybe it's the bait. Like, hey, you can start face-offs for free. Works with Portal too. Oh, and you gain AET as well. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Because you can. There's. So wait a second. There is the purple friend. I need to remember exactly what it says, but it says that Studious. There is a purple friend that allows Studious to stack, right?
yes, it's Starlight. No, it's Sunburst, I think.
Right, but and that's like that. Does that count if you have multiple Studiouses on the same character, or just Studious on multiple characters?
Hmm.
Yes, yes. So in principle, if you played more than one of these in the same turn, you could, with that in play, the AT thing becomes a little bit more interesting.
Or you Portal it.
Or you portal it, yes. I don't know if there's actually something to look in there, but that's starting to sound a bit more promising.
Yeah, like if you keep stacking this, keep triggering. Oh, okay. So okay, no. You do the mirror pool.
Hmm. Interesting.
Mirror pool will not start a face-off, but it will give your main Studious, which is it's funny because it costs you 1 AT to do that, and you might not even get that AT back if you lose the face-off. But you could do that. But you also need Sunburst in play for it to work at all.
Right. I don't know. That's a cool interaction that may be worth looking at.
Sure.
Next card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, okay. I'll just address Grand Plaza's comment. If are suggesting possible AT generating combos are likely to just go negative. Personally, I think that was my idea, not Ifrox. So, patch 3 cost, 3 pink requirement and power. Unicorn friend in pink. We were just talking about potentially having a unicorn friend in pink. Anyway, hasty, magic restored. Add immediate speed. Remove a magic counter from this card. Replace this card's problem. This card's problem. Important distinction there. So yeah, this one can be a 3 cost hasty replace a problem, which is not terrible.
No, for a hasty replace a problem. For a hasty replace a problem, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I do think it's actually very interesting how like it's been established now that 3AT is about the cost of problem replacement, right? But it's been done in a bunch of little interesting ways, right? Bait and switch was 3AT, not hasty unless you portal it. Also gives you the eccentric, but was not restricted to location. It could be anywhere and you could replace any problem. Discord is 3AT paid over one instance of 2, then one instance of 1. You get the problem search, but you have to get rid of him to replace it. This card, 3AT, with the potential to do it more than one time, if you do the more magic counter stuff. Like it's interesting how like the 3AT kind of formula has been played around with.
Yeah.
Over the various cards that have done it.
Also, as Beagle points out, this is a problem replacement that does not have 4-rec.
Yeah.
Which was a big deal before. Like if you're running pink as your secondary color, it was kind of hard to get your hands on a good problem replacement because both bait and switch and Discord were kind of out of the reach.
Yeah.
Not that bait and switch would be in new core anymore, but still.
Smile replaces a problem, right? It could.
It's not a friend.
I mean, it was 3 requirement though. Just as a thought. But anyway, yeah, another
That's
one.
fair. Yeah.
Another one at the requirement, and as mentioned, yeah, this one conceivably could replace many problems over the course of its existence if you have other ways of giving it magic counters.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem, haha, with this card that I see is this card's problem restriction. Because once you use it once, to reuse it, you not only need to put a magic counter on it, but you also need to move it somewhere.
Yeah.
Sounds like a huge hassle. But otherwise, it's a repeatable replacement. Like if your deck needs that, it's pretty good. Just like Discord, though, it can be removed before you get a chance to do anything.
In a single priority window.
Yeah.
If you're using it in the play it and put the counter on itself mode, yeah. Yeah, if you're playing a blue pink deck that does like conga lining stuff, maybe you can get this move incidentally. You still need to put the counter on it somehow. And now that I think about it, that makes a little bit less sense because you're probably just relying on problem face-offs to trigger your cherry berries, etc. So maybe that isn't actually as good.
Oh my god. Hold on. I just realized. You know how you said, like, oh, free AT is the cost of replacing a problem? Okay. If you assume that the cost of a magic counter is 1 AT, and there's 2 AT to move this card back, that's another way to replace free AT with replace a problem for free AT.
Don't know.
If you assume that the cost of the magic counter is 1 AT.
It's not 180. I don't think it's less than that probably.
It's probably a little less than that, yes.
Which I guess,
but like
in that
judging
sense,
from the cards we've seen, it is close to that. I would say it's about 2.
Oh,
okay, hold on. So the main Masquerade Mask, it gives you +2 power for having a magic counter.
Okay. Yes, Grandpa's points out a distinction. Cost or value.
Value. Well, the cost is really dependent on what you're playing. There's not like, what is the distinction here exactly between cost and value?
Like, I would assume value is talking about, as mentioned, the kind of fractional AT cost that you can assign to it within the operation of a card. Cost is if you average out the cards that can give you that effect, how much are you paying for it on average?
Yeah, then I guess I'm talking about cost.
Okay. I can believe that being about 2 then.
But like, would you, if this card did not have magic restored on it, would you say it would cost 1 AT?
Well,
no.
I mean, that sounds like you're talking about value.
Am I?
Based on the definition Grandpa's gave, then yes. Like,
no.
Cost is...
I'm not talking about the impact. I'm talking about... Okay, this card specifically, patch.
Yes.
You remove magic restored from the text box.
Mm-hmm.
How do the other stats change? How is that value? That's cost. Like, that cannot be value because value it depends on all of the other stuff that that magic counters do. No?
Like, so I think, and this is probably going to be my last attempt to like, so cost is it is dependent on the set of cards in the game, right? Like, you can't talk about the cost of an effect unless, it is an aggregate thing, right? We're taking all the cards that have magic restored on them, we're averaging out their costs, and that's what we get, right? Whereas what you're talking about
Okay, sure. No. With that, I agree. Yes. Okay. Because, yeah, if you average out all of the cards, with Magic Restored in them, you will get a cost to get that keyword, even though by itself, the keyword, like, there's more stuff than that keyword on those cards.
Yes.
But, like, if all cards with Magic Restored in them cost 3 AT, then yeah, you cannot get magic counters cheaper than 3 AT. Sure.
I guess, strictly speaking, you would have to factor in the portal effects too, because it's an enters play ability. But yeah, and maybe the reanimation effects too. But whatever.
Details. Anyway, okay, anyway, yes, I think the value then of a Magic Restored counter is around 180. I think.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that too. Slightly less than 180, probably.
We'll see.
Like, I mean, I'm thinking like 0.9 or something like that.
Yeah. So yes, okay, back to my original point.
Okay.
If the value of a Magic Restored counter is around 180, then repeated replacement with this card also costs you 3 AT.
Yes.
There we go. But yeah, like from the set of cards we've seen so far, that's my impression that the cost of Magic Restored, not the value, sorry, of Magic Restored is around 180. It feels like, from this card and from what other, like the mask.
The mask and the Jade.
Well, that's it. Oh yeah, Jade. That's right.
Yeah, small sample size, but
that's
what we're working with right now. Yeah. Okay, next card. Last one of the ones we were talking about, or of the ones we have today. Dazzle Feather. Breaking news. 0 power, 4 cost, 3 requirement, orange Pegasus that enters play with 6 plus 1 power counters on it, so effectively 6 power, but only 0 to flip. If this card would be frightened or leave play, you may remove a plus 1 power counter from this card instead. Sounds like we're about to get photobombed here, if Grand Foss is saying anything in the chat.
No, it's the last one. That's it. No more cards. If we get shown new cards, that's it. We show them next stream. It's the last one.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah. So this one is so 4 for 6. Oops. Almost pressed my mic, hit my microphone with my hand there. That's pretty fair. This does have the 6 times protection of removing the plus and power counters from it. Which is pretty good. Admittedly, right, at some point, probably when this gets down to even 3, the opponent might kind of lose interest in making it leave play. It's kind of got down to the point that it's not that big of a deal anymore. So realistically, it's got 3 or 4 lives or so, rather than 6. But still, that's enough.
I think that you just never remove it, honestly.
Yeah. Like, so, actually, perhaps, the real use, and there's a caveat here that you'll see immediately, in a farm deck, this has protection against getting frightened by villains. Now, it's a 0 flip card in a farm deck, which is, that's pretty terrible. That's the caveat. But this is a card you can play to one of your own villains that's about to flip over, and still have 5 power for the face-off.
Yeah. I mean, before co-rotation, you would just run Rescue Party if you wanted to do that.
Yeah.
That's just the better option. But Rescue Party is not here anymore. But I still don't think you run this card in farm. Does this pass the Thunderlane test? So the way I see this card, right, is that if I was the opponent and somebody played this against me,
Mhm.
I would just have to deal with it because removing it 6 times is not going to be a thing. Spending a piece of removal in my deck to reduce the power of a card by 1 feels very underwhelming. Like, I would rather remove something more impactful, right? Like, you usually want to remove stuff that's like, okay, if I don't remove this, I lose the game.
Mhm.
And it's unlikely Dazzle Feather is such a card. Like, yeah, it has high power, which is very annoying, but like, mm. So unless there's like a repeated Frighten effect or something, I don't think.
Yeah, sure. If there was some, and I don't think this exists in core, but if there was something to redistribute power counters, this
Doesn't Applejack do that?
I maybe like if this card could be used as a reservoir of power counters, that could be kind of interesting.
Yeah. I thought we have something like that.
I don't. I mean, maybe I haven't been paying enough attention to orange cards.
No, Applejack does something else. I was thinking maybe of a different Applejack then. Oh well.
Well, yeah. A good power card. I think. Yeah, I personally I think that's the cool thing I'd be looking to do with it is using it as a reserve of power counters. If there was some way to make use of those effects.
Yeah.
All right. And with this debut on headline, perhaps on ZBS first, we'll move on to the next part of the stream. I said that just to annoy all the American viewers, of course. Oh, there we go. Okay, yes, it has been sent. Okay, 1 second, folks. This. So, give me 1 second to get this card all set up. Yes, it is a new card, as if anyone needed to. Okay. There. Slide. Go. No, there's another one. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry. 1 second again.
Does Bugle gain an 18 when the face-off starts?
Sorry?
GP said that Bugle is prepared.
Oh. Bugle does seem like the kind of person gain an AT when the face-off starts. Okay, just 2. Okay. Now we go back here. And we are ready for the next one. Caught in the Act. 1 cost, 3 requirement, 3 power, immediate speed event. Flight requirement, I don't know if I said that. Choose a character without at least 1 counter on it. That character loses all abilities and can't contribute its power to face-offs or confronting problems until the end of the turn. So, without at least 1 counter on it is most characters. Maybe not in this set, the way core is going. Maybe there'll be more counters around than not. But it is a 1 power, 1 turn, mostly removal for most intents and purposes. This card effectively can't do much of anything useful. Yeah. That's not terrible in white. That's fairly good disruption.
Yeah, I mean, it has Pip on it, so it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Also says character. Most of the main characters would not have counters on them.
Most main characters do not. We've been through that. They can have magic counters on them though, so it is worthwhile, I guess, if you're playing against a white deck. Maybe consider throwing a counter onto your main to prevent it from getting disrupted by this.
Too bad exhaustion counters are not a thing.
I was meaning to ask about that. Good that's not a thing.
Otherwise, it will be too easy.
Otherwise, yeah. But yeah.
But also orange advantage, just getting a bunch of counters for free. Everyone else has to work for them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah, as a one cost, and this is let's see. So it's sitting in the same spot as unsatisfactory work was at one cost, 3 requirement.
Or belly flop.
Or belly flop. Yes, fair point. It's worse than either. Well,
it's not a hard removal, but it is a temporary measure.
Yeah, it is worse than either one of those. Yes, because those ones, like, yeah, they would also by definition get rid of the abilities and power, etc., etc., etc. Because yeah, but yes, as Grandpa points out, it's in white. That's the biggest deal. White still is not getting real removal, which, fair enough, it's not supposed to, but it is getting a much better effective effect of disruption than it's gotten before. Like, it had, say, reliving history, but that was pretty conditional.
Yeah.
This is also conditional, mind. You can play around it, as I said, by putting a counter on stuff, but probably much more likely to work.
It would be cool if it did that to all of the characters without counters. So it'd be kind of like Cold Wave, right? But a counter Cold Wave. Really bad if you're playing against Orange, though, probably.
Probably. But yeah, cool card.
Yeah, I like this card.
Good to see. Well, obviously you like it. This is
yeah.
It's clear.
It's see, there's an even little square to show you where to look.
Okay, and as mentioned, there was one more that we were given. Meticulous. To be scared. 3 cost, 2 power, 1 requirement in blue Earth Pony. When this card enters play, you may frighten a friend. When a friend is frightened, you may exhaust this card to gain 1. So,
I just wanted to put a quick comment how it's kind of amazing, the character arc here. From a plant to an Earth Pony, that is something.
How things change from G4 to G5. Yeah. Very nice.
But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, so this can be a effective 2 cost frighten a friend if you want to, not use this card for anything else the turn that it gets played. If you want to play it with summoning sickness, if you will.
Yeah.
Or it can be a 3 cost 2 power frighten a friend if you want to use it to confront a problem or do a face off with it, etc. Which, I guess, perhaps that's a nice theme of the set. I like the versatility. As mentioned, the magic sword thing is nice versatility as well.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how many Frighten effects we get, because, as I mentioned earlier, it sounds like Frighten is gonna be pretty good, like better than before, because it also removes all of the counters.
Yes. Yeah. Having that ability. Yeah.
We'll
So
see some yellow soon.
not today.
Not today.
Like tomorrow, then probably. We'll see. Next sim stream, maybe. Who knows? Uh, Also, very much appreciate. So, between the subtitle and the flavor text, to be scared is to be prepared. Very nice that they gave in, frighten a friend, and gain an AT. Scared and prepared. Very nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bugle. I think, like we talked about, the fact that yellow in our rotation stream may need to take a seat, perhaps, right? Didn't we?
Yeah. I think we did.
We'll see. Anyway, last topic. It was mentioned during the sim stream that this set is still unnamed, and that they were taking suggestions and also votes on 3 proffered possibilities. Those being New Generation, Friendship Renewed, and Friendship Restored. Right?
Okay, renewed does not make sense. It does not. Okay? Nothing was renewed. There was nothing to renew. It did not exist, so it had to be restored. Okay? It does not make sense. You can throw as much shade as you want, but that's my hill. It's wrong. It was not renewed. Okay, I said my piece.
Okay, that's been said. That said, I think New Generation is objectively the correct choice.
I agree.
The and like Ithorg and I talked about this a little bit beforehand. This set is a big break, a big move for the game in terms of the change in art style, in terms of the core rotation, in terms of core going fully print to play. It is a huge shift, a sea change, perhaps you could say. And so I think it's very important, or at least it would be very nice, if the set name also reflected that. And certainly of those 3, New Generation is the only one that really covers that. Plus, it has the huge flavor tie-in to the actual, Generation G5. So it seems to check so many boxes.
Yeah. And the movie was also called The New Generation, which just makes it so much more fitting. And yeah, I think New Generation. And another thing is that if you call the set New Generation, if the block is G5, the block would be called Generation Block or New Generation Block, which is, I think it's just too perfect, this name.
Mm-hmm.
Beagle points out that it is a synonym to New Dawn, which is, it kind of ish. I don't think it's like a direct, like you could not, it's hard to confuse them, is what I think.
Yeah,
If
and
somebody says New Generation, nobody would think New Dawn ever.
right. I think the point that Bugle makes is legitimate, and it is perhaps a small mark against it, but I don't think it outweighs all the good things that
Yes,
name
I
has.
agreed. As much as I was fighting for Friendship Restored, I still think New Generation is the best option.
I mean, you're allowed to argue for why Friendship Renewed is terrible if you want.
Yes. See, I'm not arguing for Friendship Restored. I'm arguing for Friendship Renewed is awful. Well, it's not, but like, nothing was renewed. Nothing.
And that is, I should point out that that previous statement of mine was not at all an endorsement of Hithork's position. I was just saying that. That is your fight to have, my friend.
Yes. But yes, I hope it will be called New Generation. It just makes too much sense. I think it's perfect. if there was ever such a thing as perfect set name, this is it.
It seems like it. Yeah. Okay. I think that is everything. Gonna be everything for this week. That's certainly all that I had prepared.
I wish you watched G5 because now I would ask you, what do you think? Which colors each main character is?
Well,
but you don't really know. I guess you could do some
I mean,
inference based on the movie.
it's pretty obvious who the main characters will be. Wait, no, it's not. As I
It's
recall,
obvious.
there's
Five of them are
five of them
obvious
are
for
obvious.
you.
There's one that's missing. That's true.
Yes, I mean, if you watch entirety of G5, it's very clear who is the
Yeah.
sixth one. But if you don't,
Yeah.
then
For what it's worth, I do know the name of the fifth character. Like that's percolated out to me in general from the fandom. I just don't know much of anything about her.
Yeah. It's Ara's second favorite character, I think. Was it second or the first? I don't remember. It was one of them. But yeah, but based on the movie, what do you think the colors are?
So let's see here. Um,
Okay, let's start with Sunny.
Sunny, right. Sunny was going to be. My initial thought was actually yellow, but that's wrong.
No.
It's orange, right? Or is that wrong too?
In the movie?
I'm scrambled.
I mean, so I think from the movie alone.
From
I
the
think
movie alone.
color and like from the entire G5 too also kinda, I think. Well, it depends. But a color that makes sense for Sunny for me is purple.
Right.
Because she's all about the friendship.
Yes. Yes. That like that has antecedent from being, protagonist is purple, but also like she seems like the Twilight successor. Yeah. Seems fair.
Oh yeah, Bugle says that Sunny has orange coat. I actually have a whole thing on that. So clearly, Zip is white, Pip is pink, Sunny is orange, Easy is purple, and Misty is blue.
In that sense, perhaps, yeah.
I mean, it's the same way they assigned colors to characters in G4 CGG, right?
That's fair, isn't it? Yeah.
Like Pinkie Pie is pink because she is pink, not because of anything else.
I mean, that is like literally true, isn't it?
Well, yes, except it's the other way around. The color is pink.
The color is pink
because
Pinkie Pie's pink. Yeah.
Posey is sometimes red. GP. Anyway, so okay, Sunny is sure you gave her orange.
I guess
Could be purple. Pip, that should be an easy one.
Pip is white.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, Zip.
Zip is now.
I know that you have not watched the rest of the stuff, so
Right.
I'm just wondering your opinion.
I mean,
before you watch the rest of the stuff, and then we can see how it changes.
My instincts are to make Zip blue. As the most Pegasus-y of them.
Sure.
Apologies to Pip. Perhaps.
Zip is the most blue character from the movie, yes. Okay, Hitch.
Hitch is yellow.
Easy.
Izzy is pink.
Cool. That's it. So we have Easy pink, Sunny orange purple question mark.
Yeah.
Hitch yellow, Zip blue, and Pip white.
Which makes
Makes sense.
our expert character also orange purple question mark. Right?
Yes, one of them.
Yeah.
But I do think personally that from the movie too, but also in general, Sunny is purple
Yeah.
because she's like friendship. She's the one who was seeking to reunite everyone and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, uh, we'll see how. What colors would you assign to characters after you see their developments? I guess.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if we'll be able to talk about that by next stream. That depends on
No,
progress
absolutely
in
not.
other areas.
Yes, but also there's a lot of G5.
That's fair.
There's a fair amount. There's like hours of watch time. The 5 minute episodes are fairly quick, but there's also a lot of them, like 100, I think. And then you have the Make You Mark, which each are 20 minutes. And I think there's about 15 of those, maybe more. Purple is magic, and friendship is magic, so purple is friendship.
That's not actually how that works.
I think it does.
Let's see. Sorry, purple is magic. Friendship is magic. So you have two relations going in from the same side. So it is transitive, but it's not like an if and only if relationship.
I think purple is friendship. Okay, what is friendship then? Which color is friendship?
So what I think is that you and Bugle are both right. It's just that you are talking about a subset of what Bugle's talking about. Right? Purple is friendship, and Bugle says every color is friendship. Well, you are both right.
Yeah, Bugle. Wow, I don't contradict Bugle, but Bugle contradicts me. At least my.
If you're talking in an exclusive way, sure.
I think primary color of friendship is purple.
Okay.
Clearly, Sunny should be every color then, right? Just all of them.
Bugle's is gonna come back into our Domeric game just to make a rule that every color is friendship.
Isn't? Oh no, it's called magic. That's right. Well, I don't think we call colors anymore. Do we call colors?
We don't. Well,
yeah, we don't.
We don't. Anyway, this is not a debate I want to get into personally. You and Vyoga can take this offline.
I'm having a lot of debates today, huh?
You're in something of a combative mood, yes. Anyway, that is going to be it for our stream today. We're going to do our best to have another stream 2 weeks from now. Maybe there'll be cards to talk about. If there are, great. If not, we'll have to find something else to talk about.
We'll find something else to talk about.
Yeah. That is going to be 25th of May. Yep. Otherwise, thank you very much to everyone for coming out and chatting with us. Thank you to Commentaries Magic for giving us some spoilers and for designing a set. Designing all the sets. Keeping this game going, frankly.
Yeah.
And thank you.
It's been more. It's been about 5 years since Print and Play started. It's a lot of time.
It's a long time. Yeah. That's I mean, since this is 10 years of the game, that's half of the.
Yeah.
Half the game.
Yeah. Well, it will be 5 years at the end of this year.
Okay. So only nearly half. Still, Pretty impressive. All right. So I think that should be all for us. Until next time, I have been Cursor Chords.
I've been Hifrock.
We will see you soon.
Bye.